Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So for today's recipe, I wanted to share one of my favorite super simple dinners, which is just a keema, which is a ground beef curry with chickpeas. So for this recipe, you just need 2 small or 1 large onion. I had a little bit of red and white, so I ended up using that. But you can use just red or just white, whatever your preference is. And then also use 1 large tomato and then half a bunch of coriander. And so in my bowl I have some ground beef. You can use ground lamb, ground chicken, whatever your preference is. Some ginger garlic paste. And I'm also going to be using some chickpeas. And this is completely optional. You don't have to use this if you don't want to. And so now I have a skillet or a pan here that I'm going to heat up and get nice and hot before I add in my oil. So you can use any type of oil. I'm just going to be using some sunflower oil, and I'm just going to use about 3 tablespoons of oil just to get all of our vegetables nice and soft. So we're just going to let that heat up nicely, and once it gets nice and hot, I'm just going to throw in my onions. You can So once our onions start to sizzle a little bit, we're going to throw in our ground beef. So make sure that you either break this up beforehand or use your spoon to really break down all those large chunks of meat so that you can get a nice even cook throughout the entire thing. So at this point you want to mix So at this point, we're just going to be adding our ginger garlic paste. So I generally like to add 1 heaping tablespoon of this now so that it takes away that raw kind of meaty taste of the meat, if that makes any sense. But I prefer to add it at this stage as opposed to later on, because then it cooks really well. All that ginger and garlic and onion kind of cook together, so you get a really beautiful flavor in that meat. So I'm just gonna let this brown completely until there's no more pink chunks. So we're just gonna cook this down, and it takes about, I would say, like 10 minutes to really cook down. I'm gonna leave the exact measurements down below in the description, but I have about 1.5 teaspoons of black pepper, pink salt, half a teaspoon of coriander, cumin, turmeric, and paprika, and about a teaspoon of chili powder. You can add as much or little of these spices as you would like, but this is my preference and I feel like this works best for this dish. And so we're going to add this into our meat. As the meat is browning, I did add 2 chopped up green chilies. Again, that's totally optional as well, sorry. But we like spicy food in our house, so it was our preference again. But you don't have to add the green chilies if you don't want to. So at this stage, we're just letting this meat brown, and as you know, the oil is separating from the meat and you kind of see like the water evaporating, I'm going to be adding my tomatoes in. So as you add the tomatoes, just kind of squish it in your hand a little bit to kind of get the juices flowing in the tomato. And we're going to put all the tomato into our dish. And we're just going to give it a really good mix. And we're going to let the tomatoes soften alongside the meat. My tripod wasn't working this day, so I had to hold my camera, and it was a little bit hard to film and hold the camera at the same time, and cook, sorry. So now we're going to be adding our spices in there. So you're just going to throw them all in there all together. They're nothing fancy about it. And then we're just going to give this a really good mix. Make sure all of the meat is coated in all those spices, that everything is spread out evenly. And we're going to let all of this simmer and cook together for about 10 minutes, just so you know all those spices are really married in there, because that's how we're going to get a really nice flavor on that. I'm just going to be adding about 2 to 3 tablespoons of water in here as well, because we are looking for a gravy. So if I wanted this to be dry, I would not add any more water to this, and I would let whatever juices in there evaporate. But since we're looking for a gravy that we can eat with our rice or our bread, so that's the reason why I added the water. And again, that's also completely optional. So it's been simmering for a while, and we're just going to add in our chickpeas at this point. Chickpeas, you can add potatoes, you can add peas, you can add carrots, you can add anything you really want to this dish. That's what's so great about it. Chickpeas is our favorite in the house, so we just added some chickpeas along with some chopped cilantro. And now I'm going to give this a really good mix, and again I'm just going to let this simmer together just so that the chickpeas are already soft, but we're just going to get them a little bit more soft, and that's going to take a few minutes, so about 15 minutes to just really simmer and get everything nice and soft and flavored. So it's been simmering for a little bit now, and most of the water has kind of thickened up into a nice saucy gravy, which is perfect for our rice or bread, whichever way you want to eat it. At this point it was perfect, so I just garnished it with some more of the cilantro, because we love cilantro in this house. And I really hope that you guys try this recipe out. It's so simple, it's so delicious, and it will definitely be a family favorite. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share this video if you guys like it, and I will see you guys really soon. Take care, bye!